Shohei Ohtani is doing something that shouldn't be possible in modern baseball. At the same time, he holds the longest active on-base streak in MLB. He also owns the longest active scoreless inning streak among starting pitchers. That's not rare. That's not impressive. That's structurally impossible in the way today's game is built, because the sport has spent the last decade separating these roles, and Ohtani is collapsing them back into one. And what looks like a hot stretch is actually something much more disruptive. It's redefining how value works on a baseball field. Start with the surface. Ohtani reaches base in 40 straight games. That alone puts him in elite company. It means consistency, discipline, pitch recognition. It means he's never truly out of a game offensively. At the same time, he's thrown 22.2 consecutive scoreless innings as a starting pitcher. That's dominance, command, execution under pressure. Individually, both streaks are headline-worthy. Together, they don't make sense, because the physical and mental demands required to sustain each one typically cancel the other out. Hitters need rhythm, daily timing, repetition. Pitchers need recovery, arm care, controlled workload. The game forces players to choose. Ohtani refuses to. Now, on the surface, you could explain this as talent, generational ability, once-in-a-century skill set. And that's true, but it's not enough to explain the timing of this stretch, because just days ago, Ohtani looked out of sync at the plate. He started the season 3 for 18, no impact contact. Getting on base, yes, but not driving the ball. Even he admitted it. He wasn't satisfied. He knew the difference between surviving at bats and controlling them. Then everything flipped. First home run, then another. 3 straight multi-hit games. OPS jumps to .8880 almost instantly. So the easy explanation is that he found his swing. But that skips over the real mechanism behind the shift, because the change didn't start in the batter's box. It started on the mound. Pitching does something unique to Ohtani's offensive timing. It forces mechanical discipline. When he's pitching effectively, his delivery is controlled, repeatable, and balanced. That translates directly into his swing mechanics, especially timing and lower body stability. During his 22.2 scoreless innings, he wasn't just shutting down hitters. He was reinforcing his own rhythm. So when he stepped back into the box, the adjustment wasn't conscious. It was already built in. That's why the breakout felt sudden. It wasn't a correction. It was a carryover. And once that alignment clicked, the results followed immediately. Now here's the part most people missed. The on-base streak is being interpreted as consistency, but it's actually evidence of something more subtle and more dangerous. He's controlling at-bats even when he's not hitting well. Early in the season, when his average was low, he still posted a .23 on-base percentage. That means pitchers weren't beating him. They were avoiding him, or getting forced into deep counts where mistakes become inevitable. So even during his struggles, Ohtani was dictating the structure of each plate appearance. That matters, because once his timing returned, those same plate appearances didn't just end in walks. They ended in damage. That's the shift from passive pressure to active punishment. And it happened without any visible overhaul, just a tightening of execution. Once Ohtani tied the game with his first home run of the season against Washington, it looked like the moment everything changed. But the real shift had already happened. That swing simply revealed it. And what followed, home runs from Mookie Betts, Andy Pages, Freddie Freeman, wasn't coincidence. It was lineup-wide synchronization. When a hitter like Ohtani locks in, opposing pitchers are forced to adjust their approach, not just to him, but to everyone around him. They speed up, they challenge more, they lose sequencing discipline, and that's exactly what happened. The Dodgers didn't just get hot. They capitalized on a pitching staff that had lost its structure. And once that happens against a lineup like this, the damage compounds quickly. Now add one more layer. Mookie Betts is expected to miss time with an oblique strain. That removes a stabilizing presence at the top of the lineup. In most teams, that creates pressure. For the Dodgers, it creates concentration, because now even more offensive weight shifts onto Ohtani. And historically, that's when his performance doesn't drop. It sharpens. Not because he tries to do more, but because the game flows through him more consistently, more at-bats, more leverage situations, more control over outcomes. And when you combine that with elite pitching form, you get something we almost never see. a player influencing both run creation and run prevention at elite levels simultaneously, not in theory, in real time. So what's the actual takeaway here? It's not that Ohtani is on a hot streak. It's that he's operating in a feedback loop that amplifies both sides of his game. Pitching sharpens his mechanics, that improves his hitting. Improved hitting increases pressure on opponents, that creates better conditions for his next start. It's a closed system, and right now it's accelerating, and that's why this stat line feels unbelievable, because it's not just rare. It's self-sustaining dominance across two roles that are supposed to compete with each other. Shohei Ohtani isn't just breaking expectations. He's breaking the structure those expectations were built on. It sounds impossible, not unlikely. Impossible. One player, three prizes, MVP, Cy Young, World Series. That's not a goal. That's a fantasy. And yet, inside the Los Angeles Dodgers clubhouse, someone who's seen everything says it's real. Clayton Kershaw believes Shohei Ohtani can do it. That's where the story starts to shift. Because Kershaw isn't guessing. He's not speculating. He's watched greatness up close for over a decade. And even he knows this is different. The 2026 season didn't ease Ohtani back in. It threw him straight into pressure. First start back from surgery, 6 scoreless innings. Command, control, no hesitation. That alone would have been enough. But Ohtani doesn't operate in halves. Days later, he steps into the box, still shaking off rust, and launches his first home run of the season. Just like that, both sides are active. That's where the tension builds. Because chasing an MVP is one thing. Chasing a Cy Young is another. Trying to win both while carrying a championship contender, that's where players break. Historically, almost no one even gets close. Sandy Koufax did something similar in 1963. Willie Hernandez followed in 1984. That's the list. Now imagine adding elite hitting numbers on top of that. That's the difference. Ohtani isn't just chasing history, he's expanding it. And here's the turning point. This isn't projection anymore. It's alignment, because we've already seen the blueprint. In 2024, Ohtani became the first player ever to go 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. Power and speed perfectly balanced. Now in 2026, it's evolving. Power and pitching dominance. That's a far more dangerous combination, because if one side cools off, the other carries. If both heat up at the same time, there's no comparison. And that's exactly what Kershaw is seeing, not potential. Timing. The Dodgers are built to win now. The roster is loaded, the expectations are clear, and Ohtani sits right in the center of it. Every big moment runs through him. Every adjustment, every surge, every collapse, it all connects back. That's the pressure. But it's also the opportunity. Because if the Dodgers make a deep run, if Ohtani stays dominant on the mound, if the bat stays explosive, suddenly the impossible starts to look structured. And the impact would be historic. Not just another MVP, not just another ace season, a complete takeover of the sport. One player controlling both outcomes of the game, offense and defense, across an entire season. That doesn't just win awards, that rewrites what an MVP even means. And if it ends with a ring, then we're not talking about one of the best seasons ever. We're talking about something baseball has never truly seen. 3 prizes, 1 player, and for the first time, it doesn't feel out of reach.